The year is 1945. World War II rages from the halls of Buckingham Palace to the shores of the Nile River. Even now, the clash between freedom and tyranny is about to boil over. Somewhere in North Africa, two American flyboys are soaring high on a reconnaissance mission, searching for clues to a peculiar new obsession, with the occult gripping the Nazi high command.
So that's right, my comic book has launched, and I'm really excited to get this out to you guys. It's a great book. The cheapest one starts at $17. We also have a side book that's only $6. I'm really pumped to get this book to you guys. You're going to love it. Check out the link in the description. I hope you enjoy it. Now, talking about comic book stuff, Blade has been a mess for Marvel. We're going to go over this because yet another person comes out and confirms that the movie's probably not going to happen, at least not anytime soon. The main actor has pretty much walked away, which this is all funny to me because really a vampire movie is pretty easy to do. Sinners just did it. And I think Sinners is actually a great movie. I liked it a lot. I really did. And it's doing good. Word of mouth has this thing selling out. Somebody posted a picture of a IMAX late on a Thursday, so the preview day for new movies. Completely sold out. So word of mouth, once again, is going to push a movie to the top. I don't want to spoil this movie for you. The easiest way to explain Sinners is to tell you exactly what it is. It's like a 1930s From Dusk Till Dawn. The soundtrack is really cool. I like it. I think it's a fun movie. And you know what else it is? An original movie. Something we don't get very much of anymore. So I like seeing this do well. It's also rated R. You know, let's bring back rated R movies. But you see this, and then you see what's going on with Blade, and it's like, why can't you do this? Like, so the rumors, and I'm going to get into this before we start talking about it, the rumors were, and they've been pretty much confirmed, that Blade was going to be kind of second fiddle to his daughter, and that the movie was going to be kind of woman-led, and it was going to teach life lessons, and it only had 2 action scenes in it. This movie should be all action, like my comic. My comic is all action. You know, you understand what the game needs to be, and you just do it. I don't quite get how this is such a hard production. You take Blade, you pit him against evil vampires and some high stakes game, and you let him go at it. And that's really it. That's all this needs to be. No one wants life lessons from a Blade movie. It just shows you how crazy things have been over at Marvel. Like, this should be the easiest thing to do. Hell, you have a working example with the old one from Wesley Snipes. You can bring Deacon Frost back. He hasn't been introduced in anything. Hell, you could even go all in and have the main bad guy be Dracula, though I think they should save him. He should be a high-stakes threat eventually in something. You could do an Avengers movie against him. That'd be pretty cool. I doubt they will, though. It's a free idea, Marvel. But yeah, we got another guy coming out, and the guy that made the soundtrack, well, who was working on it, has come out and said something. So here's what actor Delroy Lindo had to say. Back in 2021, recently spoke out about, who joined the project back in 2021, sorry. So he was on I think there's been 2 hard versions because they went through 2 directors. So he jumped in at the beginning. He spoke out about his experiences behind the scenes and says it ran deeper than scheduling and script rewrites. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Lindo described the project as one that just went off the rails. He explained that early conversations with Marvel gave him the impression that the studio was eager for his creative input, especially on the character he was set to play. Someone Lindo described as a Marcus Garvey-esque figure. He was a character who was very similar to the characters in Sinners, created a black community. He was a character who was the head of his community. So I know I'd like to see how they handled that, because Sinners does have something like that, but it's done pretty well, in my opinion. I don't think Sinners is woke. It does have some stuff, but the movie takes place in the 1930s in the South. But it doesn't. So here's the thing. Like, you can do stuff like that. The main thing is you need to make it entertaining. And Sinners did make it entertaining. It's not preachy. It works for the story. So I don't think Marvel can do this very well. So I don't know. I think this probably would have been. I think this would have been overly preachy, which is how the movie has, according to insiders and rumors, barrel rolled down a hill, because it gets overly preachy. It wants to teach life lessons, and that's just not what people want. And somebody recognized that and fought to fix it. That's why this movie was in production hell, is because people were fighting. And it sounds like, Mahershala Ali, he didn't like that either. That's why he walked away. Yeah, he doesn't seem like he was very happy with this movie, probably because his daughter is the main character. That's the biggest rumor, and I believe it. Because you think about when this movie went into production and where Marvel was back in 2021, and that kind of lines up pretty well. Oh, wait, no, excuse me. They announced this back in 2019. And it still hasn't even got a script out. Isn't that insane? How do we make Blade fighting vampires woke? How do we incorporate life lessons into this movie? Like, imagine saying that at a table when they're coming up with ideas. Like, we need to make this movie about life lessons. So it was really exciting conceptually, but it was also exciting in terms of the character that was going to form, Lindo recalled, and then, for whatever reason, it just went off the rails. Lindo's comments line up with what fans and industry watchers have suspected for months since its announcement in 2018. The Blade reboot has hit nearly every creative roadblock imaginable. And then they go over the fact that it went through 2 directors. Then we've got Steven Ellison, the guy who signed on to write music for the movie, pretty much confirms it's dead. I guess we are so far from it even being a possibility now, but yeah, I was signed on to write music for the new Blade movie before it fell through. Maybe it'll come around again, but I doubt it. Would have been fun, though. I think Marvel's doing the right thing here. I'd rather not have this movie at all if you can't get it right. Because imagine releasing some preachy piece of shit and having that old Blade movie still holds up. Other than the ending CGI, that movie is a masterpiece when it comes to a fun action vampire movie. I really wish they'd go in and fix that CGI at the end, because it looks bad in 4K. I mean, if you just don't think about it, it's fine. But the CGI looks a little rough in 4K in that one. They went all in on the CGI in that Deacon Frost fight. If you've seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was fine at the time, but with better resolution, it doesn't look that good. But I still love that movie. It's so much fun. So imagine putting out some preachy piece of shit, and then, people going back and discovering the superior movie, and they're going to say, what the hell? So here are some old receipts on what I was talking about at the beginning of this video. The Blade film was initially announced back in San Diego Comic-Con in 2019, but has been in development hell ever since, with a number of scriptwriters working on it. In 2021, it was announced that Watchmen writer Stacy Kufer was working on the script. Then in September 2022, it was reported by scooper Jeff Schneider that things were not peachy with the film. I'm told that the current Blade script is roughly 90 pages and features 2 lackluster action scenes. You gotta bump those up. You gotta pump those numbers up. Ali is very frustrated with the process. Feige said to be too spread thin. But hey, that's just what sources are telling me. Don't shoot the messenger, he added. So here is the quote from Variety. I remember when this dropped. One of the scripts had morphed into a narrative led by women and filled with life lessons. Though one guy refutes that, Michael Starbury says that he didn't see that, but also acknowledges that he didn't see what was going on before he came on. I do 100% believe that that script existed. The real reason why Blade isn't getting done is because the story is disconnected from the rest of the multiverse saga. Same goes for Armor Wars, Nova, etc. It's not that they're not getting made. They're getting pushed to make room for multiversal stories. I don't know if I believe that. They've walked back a lot of that multiverse shit. And if you really wanted to do that, you could have done one with Wesley Snipes, who I'm sure was more than willing. I mean, he was pretty vocal that he wanted to come back. So you could have easily done that concept and turned it into like a passing the torch thing. 2 Blades kicking ass against vampires. Who wouldn't have watched that? Especially when you've got the original Blade coming in, somewhat turning this into a sequel. Like, that would have probably worked very well. So I don't know if I believe that. I think that's just running cover. But, maybe he's right and I'm wrong. I mean, that could be true. But one thing's for sure, this movie's a mess. And it's a really good example of just how bad things have been at Marvel for, the past 6 years. It's been crazy. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Check out my book, link in the description. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.